been talking about the pumpy dog we had before. And, oh, drops up, funny, got that back up. And me and Dad were talking, and we thought, well, what if we made each chamber bigger? And, I mean, longer, more area. So we're thinking, let's try to make the dog longer, a long-legged pumpy dog, if you will. So we have the same kind of setup we did with the original pumpy dog, with our one-way valves. Elbows are just so it doesn't suck up all the stuff on the bottom, Dad's liner or my mud. And we're going to build a new pump dog. We don't know if it's going to work better. We hope it will. We found out that when we made the original dog pump, that the extra chambers helped. So we're thinking when we're making it even longer, it'll be better. And what we've done is these are threaded. We have a threaded slip, or no, thread elbow, again, just to make sure it doesn't suck stuff off the bottom. And a thread top. Also, so we can redo these.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that the reason for it? Just in case it doesn't
Honestly,
work?
these would be a smart idea because half the time it seems like I almost glue the one-way valve the wrong way. And I've built a million. I built 8, 10 of these, but for some reason, backwards. All right. So we
Is
got
that the reason for the arrow on them? I've noticed.
Dad went a little extra due diligence there and made sure he marked them bright, and so it's really embarrassing if I make a mistake. Not saying I won't, just saying. All right, so I don't know about you, but it always seems like you have to open a new thing of glue every time.
Seems like we always have plenty of primer.
Yeah, primer never seems to go bad, but it seems like the glue glues itself the first time. All right, and I'm going to cheat.
Is that the open the primer tool?
This one's just the glue. There we go. Got the glue up. Regular clear PVC glue. I think the primer might just be overkill for the pumpy dog.
All right.
I think I'm just going to glue it.
What is it? 4 pound of pressure, you said, max?
I'm about to say we're running less than 4 pounds of pressure. So let's start. I'm going to make the air top. I'm just going to glue it.
And what's the name of this pump again?
The long-legged pumpy dog. So, so if you want to find one in the store, ask for the long-legged pumpy
Is
dog.
it in the catalog listed that way?
You know what? I don't think it's in the catalog. You'll have to call them. Don't call them. We'll have we'll have some poor customer service person losing their mind. All right.
You mean Walmart doesn't have them in stock?
Oh, I'm sure in the pumpy dog aisle. But okay, so I can't make any mistakes yet. As long as that goes up, that's good. Now we have our. The only thing I didn't do is I guess I do need to decide how long this is going to be to the elbow. These are going to be each leg. Now, you'll see the long legs in a minute. This is just the dog leg. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. All right. So let's make it. We'll make it exactly half of this. I've measured this out. I thought about it for a long time. Okay, so no, I haven't. But it's going to be double what it needs. That's plenty. So I'm going to glue a couple of these. Again, I can't make a mistake yet.
You didn't use a microscope to judge that distance? It didn't seem like.
Oh, yeah. There is one thing. I do want to make them all the same length. So I'm going to show you my high-tech solution on that. High-tech. So I need 5 of these.
Does the ground always catch those?
Almost always. Very rarely do they stay floating. But that's how you know it's good if you drop it. You don't want it to have any bad pieces.
Well, you've
And
been
I'm gonna
successful.
turn it.
You've been successful so far.
Every time I'm good at this. I'm going to turn it this time and see if it stays on the table here. It's a 50-50 shot. Look at that. I did perfect.
The ground
It's like I
misses it.
planned. If I'd been thinking, I might just put a box right there and it'd fall every time. Then it would hit the box. All right, how many do I have? 5. I think that's all I need. Not glued.
And you said he couldn't count that high, folks. They can't. He can count to 5.
I don't have gloves on my hands or anything, so that's probably how. I actually have 6. Okay, 1. Let's glue another. That one just had a little dirt in it. I figured might as well start fresh.
It will never get dirty in the pond.
Not in the pond. I wouldn't want to be dirty. And we're doing this trying to make sure all of them pump at the same time. That's why we're even measuring them. We're trying to make sure one doesn't pump or can is shorter, has less air pressure, travels faster. We want all of them to pump, not just one. That's the goal.
Was the other odds that if one plugs up, the other 4 would work?
Well, it will. That definitely happen. All right. So now, still can't mess up. I have 5 elbows with one little pieces on there. I know edgier see excitement. Now let's go ahead and put them on all the legs and tail.
Does breathing that glue make you more excited? Is that what that is?
It's the best part of building these. No, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. This stuff is strong. That one day we dropped the primer. My goodness. We got loopy and didn't even know it.
Who was the dropper of the primer?
It's probably too early to even name names or point fingers. It was a group effort.
It was a group effort, okay.
It was a group effort. That's what I'm going to say.
Wasn't purposely kicked off in the floor or anything. Was an
All right.
accident, folks.
And we did regret it and did the rest of the episode
we had to run outside. We couldn't pan.
It was rough. All right, so we have 5 one-way valves with elbows on each side. So let's build a dog. That's a thing you never think you'd say.
Is it a long-legged,
It's going to be a long-legged pumpy dog.
pumpy dog?
Well,
I just now caught it.
It's horrible, but I like the joke. All right, so we have 6 of these. We only need 5. So we're going to put one up.
He also likes the joke, why did the dirty chicken cross the road twice?
Oh, no, why?
He's a dirty double crosser.
For a small fee, we can stop telling jokes.
Hey, that might be a good deal. What, folks, would y'all send in a donation for us to tell him more bad
Go
jokes?
to our Patreon to stop us from telling jokes. All right, so this is going to be the body of the dog. So far, still can't make a mistake. All right, now let's get the tail end.
Okay, what's that part sticking up right there for?
That is a water hose adapter to 1/2 inch to 3/4 water hose.
You're not going to put water in it, are you?
We could, but we're going to put air in. And why we're using a garden hose for air? Well, we can have garden hoses, and they're pseudo cheap. A little cheaper than airline. And we don't have to deal with all the fancy fittings. Everybody has garden hose.
Everybody understands cheap, too, I think.
Well, it helps. All right, so now I'm going to put on the back end of the dog. And really all we got to do is make sure it's the same, it's not at an angle with the front legs.
If
Pretty
the,
easy.
if the table's straight, is that what you're saying?
Of course, that was something I should have checked before I did.
I did sand the table, so it should be level. It had a stain or two.
So if it's crooked, like that.
Uh-oh. Well, it's a small valley. They don't hurt anything.
All right, so now let's attach, let's do the tail. So we're going to make long-legged dog. And these are approximately, 24 inches?
Beats me. I didn't measure them. Here's one of those things you might
Look,
try.
this is one of these newfangled toy things they have here.
From Harbor Freight.
Hey, look at that.
You got it on?
It's only 2 feet, not 24 inches.
Okay, I got it now.
So I was off. Not bad for guessing. All right, and I was going to start with the tail. So I glued it. This dog has a long tail. And we're going to put on the
Tale
one-way
of Two
valve.
Cities or something?
It was the best of time and worst of times.
Okay.
All right. And as long as that's straight down, which it looks
It must be a sad dog. His tail's down.
tails down between its legs, actually nowhere near its legs because they're going to be way out there. All right, so we'll give it 1, 2, 3, probably long enough for it to dry enough we can fiddle with it. Let's start with this leg.
I didn't know you were musical, but you can fiddle with it too, right?
Oh, yeah.
As bad as the chicken joke.
I'm telling you, Patreon, you can just go on there and say, please stop making jokes.
How did you become a multimillionaire? I quit telling jokes.
What do I do for a living? I don't tell jokes. Kind of like those farmers that don't plant corn. I tell you what I don't do. I don't tell jokes. I'm guilty of law.
Unless they were corny.
I'm sorry, folks. That one was bad.
I heard a groan out there. Somebody. Was that
It's
your
a
groan?
bad deal when you can hear it before you post it. All right. The only problem we have is space now. So let's move the dog
I
a little
might
bit this way.
mention, folks, this is a new invention. It's never existed
This
before.
is not tested.
We haven't a clue it'll work or not.
We were really happy with the puppy dog test we did before. But check the other video.
But he had short legs.
He has short legs, and we're thinking these chambers will have more water/air. So hopefully, in theory, move more water.
So the dog is going to swim better because he's got longer legs, right?
A faster swimming dog.
This could be a fountain or a pump. You can make a fountain out of it, or you can make it just pump water from one area to another. So that's our whole goal. And he's got some fountain adapters that make a real pretty fountain when he puts
Yeah, we
them on.
3D printed a bunch of little fountains. They
Folks,
really
we
came
are
out nice.
we are addicted to 3D printing.
The 3D printer is such a neat little invention because I don't know how many times we were like, man, if I could just get a PVC pipe or something that would have, a fitting or a hole here or something. And now you can build exactly what you want. And they got priced down where they're not ridiculous. And the programming end of it is almost to a photocopier. Not quite there, but it's
cheap enough you don't have
easy.
to sell your mother-in-law, folks. You can actually buy one.
I don't know if we want to sell that part. Maybe people want us to get rid of their mother-in-law. No offense to you mother-in-laws.
You know what the definition of mixed emotion is? When your mother goes off a cliff in your brand new car. I didn't tell it. I heard it.
And we discovered through trial and error that this double 45 working on the neck seems to really help it.
And
as you can see from that video.
And the reason we haven't a clue, folks, other than maybe it reduces the friction of it going out.
That a little off, but I don't think it'll matter.
We've said he's been a little off for years, but that's just something that we say in the family.
All right.
Okay,
that's going to be the neck.
Okay, that's where the water comes out, spurts high in the air.
Let's put this in for fittings. I think I'm going to glue this little one in, and then we'll put in about 10-foot piece and cut it to where it looks nice, or where.
Are you going to wade out in the pond and demonstrate this?
Oh yeah, and it's not burning hot anymore. It finally gave it a little bit of a cool streak, so hopefully it won't be so horrible going out there and putting it in the pond. All right.
That is one big puppy dog.
That's a big pumpy dog.
But
now I'm going to just do my best to put these legs on as straight as I can. Straight down as
that is half-inch pipe, folks. That we're using.
Half-inch. And why did we choose half-inch? Because half-inch is the cheapest. And it still has enough volume that, like a 1/4 inch, it'd be hard to find, and I think it would clog up immediately. And you can move that about twice, and then it's at like it's going to be. Because once the glue sets, it sets. So I would always advise to dry fit them, though, because sometimes when you dry fit them, you can't get them apart.
Folks, we never saw one of these with 5 one-way valves. Now, they've tried these with one one-way valve, but no one's ever tried 5. So this is kind of something a little different.
A little experimental, but
We did see more volume out of the little
It
puppy.
really seemed, as you can see in that one video, the pumpy dog, I forget exactly the name of it, but we tried it and it really seemed to benefit. So let's see.
With the same amount of air pressure, amount of air actually, it produces more volume of water.
And that's our whole game plan. So I'm going to move the pumpy dog around.
You sure your pond's big enough for that?
You know, I
Only
don't
a
think
quarter
yours is, though.
It's only a quarter acre. Right?
It's about a quarter-acre pond. And I've noticed the life in the pond has greatly increased once we started aerating the pond.
By the way, folks, this aerates the same as pumping the water too. Fish get air, and the pond will get rid of that terrible smell that some of them have because it's aerated.
Introducing oxygen, getting that good bacteria in there.
Instead of the ones that make sulfur, we put in bacteria that make nice, fresh, clean water.
Like I say, you got about 2 turns with that if you're quick, and then it is set. The upshot is it doesn't have to be 100% exact. We want it to be for
you don't
experimental
have scientists out there with squares and everything.
all the time. Just look up, like I said, go to Walmart, go to your pumpy dog aisle, ask your friendly sales associate where they keep their pumps, and ask which dog style pump they would
How
like.
did they put that on the shelf? That's what I want to know.
I'm assuming it's a kit.
Oh, a kit.
All right. The only issue we may have is strength on getting it from one place to the other, but that is a long-legged pumpy dog.
Folks, I'll do a tour of it here with you. Let's hopefully I don't knock it off the table.
I put a little one on there to kind of show what the neck's going to be.
There's where the water comes out up there. That's
Air
the
in.
neck. Air in right here.
And the water will come out of every leg and the tail. We made them all the same length, so hopefully
The water comes in each one of the legs.
that's where the intake comes in from the bottom.
Those are intakes. All of those are intakes. All 5 of them. Okay, folks, next video will be us showing Darren in the water about, neck deep, demonstrating it.